Good morning. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I'm really excited to be back live with you this morning. I just got back from vacation last week, so we had a couple pre-recorded, but today I want to talk about what I learned about rest when I was on vacation. I have to admit that it's probably been 5 years, maybe 6, since we've been on a vacation in the South, and it was just fabulous, and made me realize I need to do that a little more often. But when I was away, I was really surprised by how tired I was. Now, I'm not really sure why I was surprised about that, because life had really dealt us some things over 2024 this year. I lost my mother-in-law, and my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had a left breast mastectomy. So, a lot going on in a very short period of time. And, as women in something like that, often we just get through it, right? We just keep going, and we do what needs to be done and help those that need to be helped. And that's just part of who we are. But then there is that time right after when it all catches up with you. And then on top of, work, children, aging parents, all of that those other pots that we have on the stove at this stage in our lives. And then add in some hot flashes, not sleeping well, hormonal fluctuations, all of that stuff. And it can be an absolute roller coaster. So when I was away, I slept a lot, like 6 days. I slept 9-10 hours a night. I slept in the beach chair. And on day 6, I woke up going, yes, there's my energy. I felt great. I felt rejuvenated. And this really made me think. And I have a lot of these conversations with a lot of my clients that I work with, and what were the signs of exhaustion? And it's so interesting because we don't often think about those for ourselves. But I have always talked about a recipe that works for us. And one of the keys to finding out that recipe is journaling. And I know. It's the one thing I hear about. Sherry, I don't want to journal. But when we look at a movement journal or a day-to-day journal, where we're just putting a few little things in, we can learn a lot about ourselves. And that's what we're trying to do, because as we're shifting in this midlife and beyond experience, things are changing and we are awakening. And there's no other word for it but awakening. And things are shifting and changing. And so it's so interesting to get to know ourselves at another level. So I started journaling, throughout the vacation, and at the end, okay, what were some of the signs of exhaustion that I saw or felt in myself? And, we all have them. They experience a little bit differently for everybody. But some of the things that when I looked back, right, because after all, we're here to learn, and this is what I learned about myself. I was struggling cognitively, and one of the things I was struggling with was names. And I saw a woman when I was out for dinner that I have known for years and years, and I could not recall her name. And I could not recall her name. And that happened multiple times. And I didn't really, I knew I was tired, but I didn't really pick up on that. And so that was one sign. My body was fatigued and felt like I was getting through the day. My to-do lists were too big. It never felt like I could get through anything. My sleep was disturbed. I wasn't as rested. Now, I was giving myself some afternoon naps because I knew I needed them, but it just didn't seem to be enough. And this occurred to me when I was on vacation. And, vacation is wonderful, right? Especially when you can, I'm just so grateful to have the means to be able to go on that kind of a vacation where, I can just unplug. But we can't always be on vacation. As lovely as that would be, we can't always be on vacation. So how do we manage our rest when we're not? And yes, still having that vacation time to unplug and relax and do something different, change in routine, huge value to that. Absolutely. We all know it and we've all felt it. But what about the in-between times? One big thing I found was unplugging from the phone. Just putting my phone away and completely unplugging for, almost 7 days was wonderful. But I can't do that all the time, right? I run my own business, so it's difficult for us to do that. But can we take time through the day or have one day on the weekend or whatever where we just completely unplug from our phone? It's such an interesting experiment because when you do that, it's so interesting to notice how that makes you feel and how much your mind quiets down when you're not being distracted all the time by your phone. It buzzes, you go and leave whatever you're doing, right? It really affects your focus and your concentration. Lots of distractions. The value in a good book. The value in a good book. And just relaxing and reading. Right? Whether that's 20 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, whatever it is. Okay, these are some ways that we can rest. And, when we're resting, we're also managing our stress. Sunshine, a nice slow walk. I did lots of walks on the beach, but they were what I would call a stroll. Just a nice mindful walk. And that really was very restful. Stillness. How can we find time to just be still? For some of us, that's meditation. And we meditated every day when we were away as well. And it was beautiful, right? Beautiful. But meditation is one of those ways. Some people mindfully drink their coffee, watch the birds. What are you doing for stillness? Because this is how we really get to know ourselves. Okay, some gentle yoga. There's lots of value in gentle yoga. Some restorative poses like restorative child's pose, Baddha Konasana. And I did one that's on this channel, which was gentle yoga to balance the nervous system. So you can check that out on my channel. And that's got some great restorative moves to help you rest. Okay, that's rest while awake. And then, of course, sleep, right? Sleep. that's hugely helpful. We need sleep. We need to rest. We know we're not sleeping as long as we should be and getting that essential rest. But all these other practices that I just talked about, okay, stillness, taking a break from your phone, getting out in the sunshine, some gentle yoga, meditation, walks that are nice, just a nice stroll, all help us sleep better. Okay, so interesting, right? When we take that time to just give ourselves some rest. Now, you may not be able to control your schedule. Okay, I can control my schedule. I work for myself. So if I'm overworked and exhausted, I'm the one setting the schedule. And that's what I need to look at. But not everybody has that option, right? We work for other people. You have children, they're doing their thing. You're running kids here, there, and everywhere. You've got aging parents that you're going over and caring for. This is taking a lot of your time and energy. So you may not be able to control your schedule, but you do get to control what rest looks like for you. And this really comes down to making yourself a priority. And I chat about this so often, right? In my groups, in the Healing Place Community Virtual Studio, with my private clients, right? You get to control what rest looks like for you. And you get to make a boundary around it. This is my non-disturb time. You can let everybody know, right, who's in your home. You can set something on your phone, a do not disturb on your phone, right, where you don't get any messages, you don't get anything for the set amount of time, whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever. Give yourself that gift, because we can't always be on vacation, but we're running around chronically tired and exhausted. But we have the power to change that. Might feel like your life is run by other people, but it isn't. We have the power and the control to put in little bits of rest throughout our day. Helps us sleep better, manage our stress. We're just better for everyone in our lives, right? So I just wanted to share with you, because these are some things I learned while I was away on vacation. And, we're always learning and we're always moving forward, right? And if we learn from what is in front of us and take that time, to look at, okay, what are my signs of exhaustion and what am I doing to promote rest in my life on a day-to-day basis? Takes a plan, for sure, but that's all right. After you do it for a while, it's part of your routine. I want to thank you so much for joining me for Wellness Wednesday. It is always a pleasure to be with you, and I will see you next Wednesday. Oh, and happy May 1st. Namaste.